I used to have eyes that were a bit more alive, like, but now I really seem to be getting dead eyes. I mean, I'm mostly tired, yeah, sure, because of the shit that I went through. For example, yesterday I had um, like, I was basically alone and, like, officially, like, alone in my house that I grew up in, and the silence really was loud, like, it was really loud. And it just made me finally just think, and I realized that I have invested so much time in my younger sibling just for him to be like, um, just be better, just have something like an older sibling for himself, to the point that I literally just didn't do anything for myself. I mean, last year I came back, home after being with my ex for a while, and even then, that way of growing up literally made me only invest my time into him, like my ex at the time, my ex basically, because I did so much, and I literally have nothing, and honestly, I have not processed any of that in any way because I don't have anyone to be able to process anything like that. Constantly battling with like severe depression, where my body just gets tired, and then paranormal activity in the house that I grew up in due to the consistent negativity that I endured, because I was literally a punching bag for my parents, and I still am, especially my mom. Calls literally ends up still saying like, "Hey, you don't do anything." Meanwhile, the things that I literally do for both my parents, matter of fact, it came out of both their mouths as I grew up, being called lazy. Meanwhile, I always did things for them. Being called rude or anything, really. Meanwhile, I was the one always running around doing things for them, and never really had the ability to do things for myself. And when I asked, "Hey, can I buy this?" I was then shushed or pushed away or pushed aside. And they basically said, "You're greedy, you're really a bad child." Meanwhile, I literally was literally could be considered a saint, especially in times we're in school, growing up in school times. I still have memories of what both my parents did to me, though, but CPTSD basically, because my nervous system is just damaged, like really just damaged. And especially with my last relationship, I got PTSD from that also. So it's like CPTSD on top of on top of PTSD from a last relationship, and then me having to build my own thing and try to find people that I can get help, with, because I cannot provide for myself. Like, I might be one of the most smartest people that people might meet, but with my disabilities, I cannot provide for myself. And I'm not bluffing when I say it's like smartest, because how does a child go to CPTSD is went from having to only show a smiling face to um basically only showing a smiley face, only being comfortable for my parents, like, as in the way of not showing any emotions except being happy despite the shit that I'm going through, that I went through. In the sense of not crying, in the sense of always being there for my parents, always being, able to say yes, my parents, to my parents, always literally removing my own humanity for my parents so they feel safe, so they can grow up and feel like I am the parent. Basically, I had to parent my own parents as a kid. Meanwhile, so many people thought I was probably just one of the most happiest kids, or just the most normalest kids growing up. Like, I have literally memories of just different classmates that I have met, through the years. Like, I'm now kind of able to think back and have more, a better memory, because I used to not be able to even remember my childhood. Now I'm just slowly remembering things again and again, slowly. At least memories that I mostly kept. Honestly, I used to be very scared to make a video about like this type of topic, because the household that I grew up in, like, imagine what if my parents see this video. Imagine somebody else tells them from, hey, um, so a neighbor just ended up passing by with a bike, I guess, and had to pause the video. But yeah, what the fuck was I saying again? Give me a second. Like, the fear of basically finding out what, you know, my parents are gonna say when, they see this, the consistent arguments or the consistent other abuses that you might get from it. Like I'm literally I'm tired. Even right now, I didn't even do anything. Like, I'm supposed to be working out and I cannot really work out. Like, I'm literally doing things slowly and stuff. Even to the point that I'm getting a headache right now. Um, but um, not having any childhood to look back to, teenagehood, or even young adulthood to look back to, it's really not it. Like, I see other kids, having fun and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, that insane amount of grief that I have is just still in. Like, really, like, I have all the lore to be any serious serial killer, or just any person that is like just bad, just utterly not good. I have all the lore for it, because every single thing that I tried, always ends up failing. Like, everything that I did back then always ends up failing or ends up breaking apart. I'm like, oh my god, I have a chance. Oh my god, I have a chance, I have a chance. Let me take this chance. Ends up breaking apart. And then again, and then again, and then again. To the point that I'm now hoping that at least this year I'm gonna manage to do something, but I have serious amount of doubts. And honestly, I'm scared, because I don't really know what I'm gonna do if I don't do anything this year, or don't manage to at least have or live away from, manage to end up living on my own for um, this year. Fucking, like, basically, I I'm not so sure if I'm gonna be alive if I don't succeed after this year. That's the reason why I'm mostly so scared. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna really be alive. And especially with the fact that my hobbies are just feeling like a burden to me right now. Like, I'm supposed to complete a art piece, which I already uploaded on my other account, but I'm supposed to complete that and have it done by March, and It's difficult. It's very hard. It's even my other hobbies that I do, or for example, cooking. It feels really like a burden, despite me being very highly skilled in it and just being able to mix different tastes, like mix in different ingredients and get different flavors and have everything just taste so good. Despite all of that, it feels like a burden. Even my enjoyment of like imagining a whole city in my head, or even watching documentaries or just detective shit, and just in general, it feels like a burden because I'm also consistently still told from, hey, you don't have anything compared to my little sibling, basically. I'm younger sibling, basically, consistently compared, especially when I grew up. They used to say from, hey, look at your younger sibling. Like look at it, like look at your younger sibling, look at your nieces, look at your aunt, at your nephews, what they're doing, and look at yourself. Like you're doing nothing and stuff like that. Like the unnecessary comparison. Despite my parents seeing that I'm a very highly intelligent kid, they still wish to compare instead of really figure it out. And even right now, when I talk to my own father, he's like passive aggressive when it comes to my side of the story. I'm seen as the disappointment, basically, the failed experiment. You could call it. You could call it. Matter of fact, I don't even see my parents as parents. Like if I literally get a chance to just stay on my own and have people around me that I can actually like depend on and build with, like really build with, I'm not gonna contact my parents. Like I'm gonna give them money, sure, and especially if I get a sane amount of cash, I'm just gonna give them that and not contact them. Like I'm not even sure if I want to show up to my father's funeral or even my mom's funeral that they pass away. Because what do you say? Like what do you literally say in that day? What they were great people? Like do I say that? Like do I make them family feel comfortable? You know, despite me already getting looks because I'm queer and I'm literally an outcast and I don't care about fitting in. I don't care about being in the group, the toxic group, the group that's already like very damaging. I mean, a matter of fact, my people, like I'm not the only one who knows that my parents are shit. People already know that. Like literally, people know that. That's one of the main reasons why, on one side, my family takes like a sheer amount of distance. But at the same time, they are not all better too, because yet again, my ability to just read people, I'm just like, damn, this like they have issue with this type of psychological issue, and this needs to be done in order for them to develop that type of mindset that's gonna give them a kickstart to be better. And yeah, you know um I don't know, like I haven't cried in a while, I guess. Like I've not cried in a while, and I don't know when I'm actually gonna be able to cry. And if I do, I bet you it might be with somebody that I actually feel comfortable in, and I'm probably gonna sleep and not be capable to really do much the next day because I'm really tired and I'm really scared. And I also still have issues with looking at in the mirror. So that's kind of the reason why I'm not really looking into the camera, I guess, because I don't really want to look at myself. but I'm actually still really trying something. And the funny thing is, right? The funny thing really is that um, so many kids, so many like kids and even animals really just feel an insane amount of comfort with me, which is like a nice thing to feel because it's like me being a kid and always wanting to help people. That wish that I had to always be a person who helps people when I grow up. Matter of fact, that's the reason why I wanted to be a paramedic or a doctor or a person that drives ambulance because I that adrenaline of trying to save somebody else, which I'm kind of realizing that that was me. Yeah, if I were to meet my younger self again, though, I I don't know, like I would mostly cry because, and the thing is, the amount of versions that I had to create just to survive, the amount, the sheer amount of different versions of myself that I had to create just to like breathe for a bit is insane. Like consistently changing over years and years and years, and not in a good way too. Like literally just trying being safe, a sense of safety, being like, oh my god, I'm this version. I'm gonna have to change to it this version again, then this version, and then having to plan over the years and how I should survive. Meanwhile, I could have used all that brain capacity to just figure out my life at an early age. I'm 21. 21 years of life just gone, and the future is not even guaranteed. The future status not even guaranteed. I used to stress a lot about that part, and I just remember that also. I used to like really stress a lot because I really feared that I was gonna pass away at age 20 to 22, and I'm 21, and I still have that fear. Like I really have that fear still. Because the amount of stress that I literally had to go through on a daily basis, even right now, going consistently through stress and stress and stress, just to the point that it's right. Like I probably have low iron deficiency because when I stand up, I even sometimes see black vision. I mean, I checked a few times if my health was good and I got a good check um, back from the doctor, and might literally be the reason of just stress and not having a immune system that really feels at home or safe. Because even right now, like how my mom is home right now, I just I feel like I'm gonna have to walk on tippy toes, like eggshells. Just oh my god, is she gonna snap or is she not gonna snap? I remember one time though, when I actually went to my ex-girlfriend, like my first date that I had. I went to her house and I just realized that whoa, despite her herself having issues with her mom, you know, and also her dad. It's kind of like a trauma bond though that we had basically. Despite that, I still went to her house and I just realized that hey, the house that I grew up in really is not it. And then again with my ex, other ex that I had, we went to his parents' house and I was like, oh shit, damn, family gathering. Yeah, this still feels a lot different because as a kid I was not allowed to even go outside because my parents were helicopter parents because they fear that I might get kidnapped or abused or anything else. Meanwhile, my younger sibling is able to go out at a early age of 18. At me at that age, I was not able to. You know, it's like a whole weird thing that you have to experience. Same house, two different ways of growing up. One house, one house and two different ways of literally having a childhood, despite the year difference not being far, that far from each other. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day though, but I guess I finally made a video about the situation that I'm dealing with, and probably not gonna be the last time that I talk about it because this is like permanent. Like the damage is literally like permanent. It's nothing's irreversible. Literally, it's just permanent. And I knew that as a kid. I knew that shit was just permanent. I knew I was not gonna have a good year, or my years are not gonna be good because that shit is just permanent. That shit you cannot reverse anything. Like no amount of therapy really is gonna help, to be honest. Like sure, maybe a sense of safeness, yeah, sure, but the fact that I don't have anything to look back to when people talk about, oh my god, like the like when you remember when you were younger, you used to do this. I'm like, damn, they are able to do that. So it's getting windy, I guess, but I actually kind of want to cry, but yeah. um I also used to have a lot of self-hatred, like really just hating myself, and the fact that I ended up learning to have some self-love really is nice. Like it's really fucking nice. The fact that I'm able to paint my nails and literally just be myself a bit more, it's really just nice. But some part of me just doesn't want to exist though anymore. The whole philosophy of nihilism, I'm understanding that also. The reason why some people have that full on belief, nihilism. because being a having a rare intelligence and having to deal with so many other things really makes you question if life really has a purpose or meaning. I mean, one side doesn't have, the other side it does. One side we're just nothing, and the other side we're something. I mean, with life in general, you have to create it yourself. You have to create a story for yourself. Yeah, you have to like figure it out yourself, kinda, but not at the same time, not really in a in a lonely way. You could literally do it with people if you can find those people. And depending on your rarity, by the rarity I mean as in intelligence, you're gonna have a easier time if you're just below average or even average intelligence, or even a bit above average. But the moment you hit the skies, it drops. Like your chances of really finding love or just being able to be understood just drops a lot. And I have also that fear because if I had like 116 IQ when I was around 14 to 15, but I did an IQ test randomly because I was like really obsessed about my intelligence, and since I have imposter syndrome, it makes sense. And even right now, last year I did a test and I came back on a 30. The thing also is when I did the IQ test, I really wasn't feeling well. Like I was kind of sick, and I have dyscalculia with dyslexia. So those two things also limit my ability to really fully do a analyzation with IQ. IQ in general also isn't accurate. It's like really a limited way of measuring somebody's intelligence. It's proven to be also not very um, good. Basically, the only people that really it's like more for the average population in that sense. You can check it online, but it's really a lot more for the average population. And when it comes to reaching like beyond the average of intelligence, I'm talking emotional intelligence, EQ, IQ, and any other intelligence. It's really difficult to measure it at the moment. In the future, sure, it will be probably a lot better as we understand the brain a lot more. And now you also see what I mean with like me being highly intelligent, because who the hell even talks about these type of things? But yeah, um, I don't know. Like this video is very long. It's amazing long, and I could go on. One thing that I do enjoy though is the afternoon sun and just nature in general, especially rainy days. It's nice, and I want to experience what snow is like, because that was one childhood wish that I had, and I still have that. And I really want to experience that before I even pass away. If I can get the chance to do that, I want to experience that a lot. And the last and important thing is pretty much just love. With four partners, and I know that's wild, but just four people that I can literally, and that they themselves can just enjoy themselves also. That would really be one of the best things of my life to just experience. Like there's a comic, there's like a comic that's pretty much like the boyfriends. You could look it up. Of course, mine would be very complicated, I guess, like as in different genders probably and still and stuff. But the boyfriend's literally a thing that I really need to experience. That type of level of love is literally what I have. for my partner if, yeah, just not even if, that's what I have. That showing up, that level of like understanding, that level of like, hey, it's gonna be okay, you're gonna be alright, and this and that. Like outing the uncomfortable type of shit, like really trying to heal your inner wounds type of relationship, and understanding different perspectives also, and being and looking for like a whole better um, future, just and having like different like careers, or just things that that don't disturb the relationship, as an energy that mixes well with each other and doesn't create a disturbance in the atmosphere, because I'm really tired of that type of, just that in general. Like I'm really exhausted of that.